When people talk about flight simulators, they usually talk about Microsoft Flight Simulator, X-Plane, or DCS. But what if I told you there's an upcoming flight sim that mixes flying with business management, multiplayer, and just enough realism to keep things interesting? And almost nobody is talking about it. Harvest Skies, crop dusting simulator. And honestly, it may end up being one of the biggest hidden gems in the simulation genre. Now, before you roll your eyes at the words crop dusting simulator, hear me out. This isn't just about flying over a paddock, spraying chemicals. You're actually building an aerial agricultural business from the ground up. You start with a rusty old biplane, slowly build an empire. Every contract you accept earns you money to upgrade your aircraft, purchase better equipment, open new airfields. You can even hire AI pilots to expand the operation. It reminds me of one of those management simulators where you're constantly balancing your risk versus a reward, except this time you are actually flying the missions. And that's where Harvest Skies gets interesting. It isn't just about flying A to B, back to A. Every job requires planning. You'll need to buy the right chemicals, mix the correct payload for each contract, calculate how much you need, and then fill the aircraft up, and then head out to the fields. Spray too little, job isn't done properly. Spray too much, you've wasted chemicals and money. Use the wrong mixture, you just got to pour it out, and you lose all that mixture again. And surprisingly deep gameplay loop that goes well beyond just the simple flying of an aeroplane. Once you're in the air, that's where the challenge begins. Crop dusting is one of the most dangerous forms of flying in real life, and Harvest Skies captures that feeling really well. If you're flying just meters above crops while watching your fuel, monitoring chemical levels, avoiding power lines, trees, birds, and ever-changing weather conditions. This game isn't trying to compete with Microsoft Flight Sim in terms of any hardcore realism, and honestly, it doesn't need to. The flight model looks accessible enough that almost anyone can jump in, but still believable enough that it feels rewarding to master. It's sitting in that sweet spot between sort of arcade fun and hard, full-blown simulation. One thing I absolutely love is the art style. Instead of chasing ultra-realistic graphics from Google Earth or anything like that, the developers have gone for a bit of a colourful, stylized, arcade-ish type world. Normally, I prefer a little bit more realism, but this actually works very well with this game. It gives much more relaxed atmosphere where you can just sort of chill out with your friends and play while still looking fantastic from the cockpit. Another huge feature that immediately caught my eye is the cooperative multiplayer function. Up to 4 players can build the business together. You split your contracts, you coordinate your flights, work as a team, continue to expand that empire and company together. Honestly, running an aviation business with 3 mates sounds so much more fun than doing it solo. There simply aren't enough flight simulators built around just that cooperative gameplay sort of friendship type like this. The developers have been sharing monthly development updates and have recently confirmed that multiplayer has now been fully integrated into the main build. They've also overhauled the flight physics, introduced some new arcade control options for players without flight sim experience, and even added full first-person cockpit flying, which I thought was sort of lacking within that playtest. For a small team, they're making some impressive and, fairly good progress. There are even a few little clever touches that help to keep things light. You crash your plane, you just don't die. Instead of being brutally game over, you just wake up like it was all a dream, back into the aircraft to complete that job. Bit of a funny way to keep that frustration while still sort of improve your flying, but you don't know. You're not going to start over again. Could Harvest Skies replace Microsoft Flight Simulator? Definitely not. And to be honest, it's not trying to. It's trying to create its own niche by combining your flight simulation, business management, and that fun cooperative multiplayer, but with a surprisingly satisfying gameplay loop into one package. And honestly, that's exactly why it needs more attention. If the developers can stick the landing before the release and become one of those simulator games everyone wishes they discovered sooner, definitely this is one to put on the wish list. Keep an eye on Harvest Skies, because this might be one of the flight sims that nobody's talking about for now.